Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Welcome to Monday Magic Intuitive Energy Reading, where I give you my take on the current energies and a little bit of advice on how to move forward. What a fun week we've had this past week. Fun for some of us, maybe not for all of us. It seems to be sort of a mixed bag. But from a solar weather perspective, we certainly had a lot going on. Not sure if you've heard, but there is something called a cannibal CME. We had 3 different CMEs coming in Thursday through Saturday. And a cannibal CME is a CME, a coronal mass ejection, that eats up the rest of the energy that is in its path as it approaches Earth. So one of the 3 coronal mass ejections that were received by planet Earth Thursday evening through Saturday was considered a cannibal CME. And we did reach a G3 storming condition, also known as a KP7. And it was quite fascinating. Lots of interesting energy to work with over this past week. Of course, dependent on your state of consciousness and groundedness and life circumstances. It will be different for each of us, but it was quite enjoyable on my end, I will say. We had solar flares. We had an almost X-class solar flare on Wednesday. That was, it seems it may have contributed to some of the interesting 3 CMEs that came through Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've had a fair amount of Schumann elevation as well, so significant amplitude on the Schumann resonance. And we now also have a coronal hole that is facing Earth and projected to impact us either today or tomorrow. Plenty of strong winds heading our way as far as solar weather is concerned. So strong storming conditions are possible. And I love it. I don't always love it, but this week I am loving it. It was incredible. Right around the time of that near X-class solar flare, there was strong feelings of bliss coming in. I feel like bliss is not even a strong enough word. I can't even begin to explain. I wish there were words to explain what I experienced. But I woke up Wednesday morning feeling like I had had the best sleep I've ever had my entire life. I felt that every problem or concern or even minor issue was just completely eradicated. It was like someone took the whiteboard to my life and I was like, everything's awesome. For those of you who have kids and know the Lego movie, that is a song. If you want to search it, I like to sing it sometimes because it's fun to create positive energy, create positive experiences. But man, just that feeling of like, there's no problems. And it really felt like it was a timeline shift. Like I woke up in a different world. I woke up in a different life. I woke up in a different state of mind, different state of body. And what's interesting is it's been different for everyone. Oftentimes there's significant patterns where I can say, okay, most clients struggled this week or most clients had a good week. But this week it's kind of a mixed bag where some experienced the bliss and others received really challenging news or difficult things were brought to the surface for them. So I hope that you also experience sort of the timeline shift of everything just being wiped away and perfectly cared for overnight, basically, or seemingly. But what I have noticed is that there's still, whether or not the experience was blissful and positive or challenging, there's still sort of a shedding of the skin was the term that came to mind, where it feels like we are letting go, but in a new and different way. It's as if this energy was received by planet Earth. We integrated it maybe over the course of a couple of days, different people, different timing. But from there, whatever shifted in our life has been slowly integrated, or we're slowly letting go of the things that are no longer serving us. And I shy away from using terms that are overused, and that certainly is one of them, but there really is no better term. And for me personally, there's things that I'm letting go of that I didn't even realize that I was clinging to, or didn't realize that I was being asked to let go of them. And over the course of the days that have followed Wednesday, I have continued to feel this shedding and just getting closer to the true authentic nature, realigning to the original design, realigning to what the divine has for my life. And for those of you that follow the channel, you know that I'm making a lot of shifts and changes, really refocusing and prioritizing on YouTube. And that has required that I let go of some other things. Who would have thought? There's even more. Thought habits, thought patterns, habits throughout the day, strategies of how we wake up or go to bed. It's very, very interesting how we have tendencies to cling to things and we don't even realize we're doing it, or even sometimes do we realize that we're being asked to let go of it. So the shedding of the skin, it feels, and this is something that I'm very careful not to talk too much about because it's not scientifically proven, but it feels so powerfully strong and real to me that I can't not mention it. It feels like we're getting closer to the shift or the new earth or the solar flash or however it shows up. I had a dream many years ago now where a flash of light came in, all of earth was impacted. The sky was like purple and blue. There was jellyfish floating in the sky, and this energy that had come in was awakening gifts in people. And at the time, this is 5 years ago now that I had this dream, my response in the dream was like, where are my gifts? And there was an intelligent being, likely angelic, that delivered the message that you have not arrived yet. You have not arrived to the state of being where you are able to have your gift awakened. And looking back 5 years ago, I absolutely would have agreed with that state, with that message delivered. And yet now I know that in this current state, the gifts are already awakening. So it's as if this energy that's coming in is awakening things within us. It's realigning, it's cleaning the slate, helping us let go of the struggle, helping us rest into ease and into the truth of who we are. And that allows us to step into or realize more of the new earth that is being created, or that is even possibly already here, and that we're just not able to experience in those moments where we get to in our ego, in our struggle, in our resistance. So these energies that were coming in this week is just really helping us rest into the divine, rest in surrender and ease. And there's also an element of letting go of judgment. This was a big a light bulb download, however you want to say it, that came this week. This sort of awareness of I've been very keenly aware of how resistance keeps us in separation. Resistance causes our suffering and our pain. When we're pushing against, what we resist persists, right? So the things that we're pushing against, I don't like my relationship. I don't like my job. I don't like the state of the world. I don't like politics. I don't like corruption. Whatever the thing is you're resisting against is actually creating more of that in your experience or in your awareness, because we are in judgment to it. And that was kind of the epiphany moment this week, is the judgment and how closely related to resistance it is. That when we're judging something, we're in resistance to it. And this energy is helping us let go of the judgment of ourself as well as others. It's not just judging others, but it's judging ourselves, judging our experience, judging our the things we accomplish or don't accomplish. Whatever it is about yourself that you are judging, it is keeping you in the suffering, keeping you in the resistance, keeping you in the old, and not allowing us to step into that flow and ease and surrender and trust and faith and love and all the things beautiful, right? So there was a beautiful scripture verse that came to me this morning, which of course everything is always in beautiful divine timing. But it says, those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength, and they shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not be faint. And so just kind of think about what the very first few words are the most important, because it's those who wait. That in our culture and our society today, we're rushing and we're busy, and especially in this holiday season, we're pushing, and heaven forbid you dare go Black Friday shopping. I can't stand the energy of that, but it really comes to mind when you think about our culture today. where we are willing to trample over each other, or we have the belief that we need to do that to each other because of the way the world convinces us we need to operate in this current energy. And so, and even for those of us in the spiritual community, I'm going to go do this meditation so I can manifest this thing in my life. And there's a pushing, there's a pressing against, there is a resistance towards what is, when we try to manifest from a state of lack versus just resting into the divine energy, resting into the flow. Those who wait, right? Those who allow thy will be done, those who rest into the divine plan for your life, those who wait for the universe to deliver, wait for the divine to speak, wait for divinely inspired action. And again, I will say that I say this often, this message is not lost on me. I am not some holier than thou on a pedestal. I got it all figured out. I need these messages as much as any of you, right? Letting go of trying to do too much, letting go of the belief that it's up to me to get this figured out, to make things happen, and be willing to wait. It is so beautiful that we, in this phrase or this verse, when it says our strength shall be renewed, it's not because we're given more strength because we waited, but rather we have our strength. We maintain our strength because we wait. And we're not out there rushing and operating in hypervigilance, that we will be able to fly easily and effortlessly when we are in that surrendered flow. It very much ties very closely to trauma and the traumatizing world that we live in today, and how it creates that hypervigilance, that feeling of constantly having to be on the go, constantly having to protect against the next ball that's going to drop or the next shoe that's going to fall. Resting in waiting, trusting the divine, allows us to maintain our strength so that we can fly, so that we can run easily and not be tired or faint, right? So another beautiful message that came through this week. We all know FEAR, the acronym, false evidence appearing real, but there was a song that was playing in my head. This is one of my favorite ways to receive messages, is just lyrics for songs. I wake up with them or they just pop into my head. And the song is "Fear is a Liar," right? So really looking at fear as if it was its own thing. It has its own personality. I like to call, the little voice of trauma that sits on my shoulder, my trauma demon, however you want to label it, but separate it from yourself and recognize that it's this pesky little mischievous entity that causes problems, and he is a liar, right? So that thing that you're afraid of that causes you to run, this trauma that causes us to run towards the thing we think that is going to make life better, is actually in an attempt to escape the thing we fear. But fear is a liar. That thing we're trying to run from is not real. It's not true. And then another beautiful song that came through in relation to this was Lauren Daigle's "I Will Rescue You." That there's a lot of chaos in the world today. There's a lot of concern around how this is all going to play out, the crumbling of the systems, the death and rebirth that we are in globally. It does require that tower moment that it has to crumble so that it can be rebuilt in a more sustainable fashion. But if you are in waiting, if you are resting in the divine, if you know and you trust and you believe and you are surrendered and you are in flow, you're in your parasympathetic nervous system state of receptive magnetism, you will be rescued from whatever is going to come. That is what it means to be one of the 144,000, is to be in that frequency, to be in that vibration, to elevate yourself so high that you're untouchable. The divine is the only way to survive what's coming. So remember, declutter your mind, declutter your life, declutter your body from the traumas, the unhealed wounds, the disbelief, the fear, the struggle, the hypervigilance, so that you make space. Nature abhors a vacuum. What that means is when we empty these traumas and these wounds out of our body, we open ourselves up, we create a vacuum for that magnetic feminine energy to fill with beautiful divine purpose and love, safety, joy, bliss. Focus and clarify your priorities. What is most important to you right now? As an example for myself, being a person recovering from complex trauma and struggling with hypervigilance and doing too much and pushing too hard, trying to do all the things all at once, be willing to let go of all of those extra things that you think you need to do. Really clarify, what is your top priority? My top priority is my commitment to my relationship with my Creator. And then from there, we'll disseminate the support and the love and the healing and all of the things that I have been gifted to offer you, simply because the divine chose this vessel, not because it is coming from me, but because I'm willing to open myself up. Trust the divine. Allow him, he, she, it, they, them to make you new so that you can soar like an eagle. Remember that fears have been brought up significantly in the last few weeks and months, and even this year or the last couple years, maybe even since, who knows? I'll say every year prior, right? 21, well, 20, we can keep going farther back. Our fears are brought to us so that we can see where we need to heal. The struggle is an illusion. Fear is a liar. And we have to heal ourselves, heal our willingness, heal our judgments. We have to heal the judgments and let go of the judgments. That's what I was looking for. Let go of the judgments of ourselves and others so that we can heal. And it is a choice. Remembering that we want to love the shadow. We want to love the fears. We want to love the part of us, the little girl or the little boy who's afraid, because they are scared. And they need the adult version of you. They need the warrior archetype. They need the mother archetype to show up and say, I'm going to meet your need. What do you need right now? How can I love on you? How can I bring you into the fold and integrate you? Remember, love always wins. Be still and know your Creator. And look up, child. The best is yet to come. I love you, my beautiful friends. I'll see you on the